Hello everyone, very good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. My name is Vivin Satyan and I am the pre-sales consultant for the AD Solutions team here at ManageEngine. Alright, now this webinar is about the new features that we have introduced in ADManager Plus. I know that you have been receiving emails from our AD Solutions team regarding the new features that are available in the application, but we thought that it would be a nice idea to have a webinar, a quick webinar, not to consume a lot of your time, so just 15 to 20 minutes or max 30 minutes, and then share with you some of the new features that we have included in the application for you so that you can use those features and benefit from them. And you can also manage your Active Directory effectively using this application, thereby minimizing the usage of scripts and complex methodologies. Okay, so that's the whole point of this webinar. So this is just to share some of the new features that we have introduced. All right. Now, during the workshop or during the webinar, if you have any questions pertaining to any of the features in ADManager Plus, please make use of the chat option and then raise your questions. I will be more than happy to answer them. All right. And if you have any feedbacks or if you'd like to see any new features in the application, please do let us know. We are all ears. We will definitely forward the same to the development team, and we'll do our best to bring those features into the application. All right, let me log in and start today's webinar. All right, now as you all know, this is going to be the login screen of ADManager Plus, the dashboard of ADManager Plus. Now the first feature that I'd like to share with you all is going to be related to the mobile apps of ADManager Plus. You all know that you can access ADManager Plus from your browser, your your laptop browser. So we have introduced mobile apps. Mobile apps were introduced long back, but we have made some changes to the mobile apps and we have added some new features as well. So you have mobile apps for Android as well as for iPhone. All right. Now I'm just pausing here for a second, and before diving into the workshop, I would request you to log into your test installation or log into your production installation and then check for the build number of ADManager Plus. So where do you go in order to check the build number of ADManager Plus? You have it right here. So if you have a look at the top right corner of your screen, you have something called license. Okay, now please click the license link, and when you click the license link, you would find the build number there. So the build number is going to be 6380. How would I know whether 6380 is the latest version, or do I have a service pack after 6380 that I can download and upgrade? So in order to check that out, so I close this window. You have the support tab right here, all right, the last tab. You go to the support tab and then you have the same build number here, and then you have check for latest updates. You go to check for latest updates. Now that takes you directly to the service pack download page of ADManager Plus. All right. Now this is where you go to download the service packs. But how do I know which is the latest version? You have it right here. Upgrade path to the latest version, that is 6380, which means I am already in the latest version. Okay, so if you're not in the latest version and if you'd like to upgrade, all you need to do is just download the service packs. Say for instance, if you are in build 6100, all right, you are short by 3 service packs. So you have the service packs right here, service pack 1, 2, and 3. You download these service packs onto your ADManager Plus server, and then if you scroll down a bit after downloading the service packs, you have the service pack installation steps given right here. These are going to be pretty simple steps that you can follow and then upgrade the application to the latest version. All right. So the steps are going to be very simple. You can follow these steps, and if you have any issues during the upgrade or if you'd like to get assistance, you can always get in touch with our tech team right here. Okay. So now we're done with the upgrade. Now, even before upgrading the application, some of you might want to know what are the latest features included in the build or in the service pack. What are the issue fixes included in the service pack? What are the enhancements that Manage Engine has made to in the service pack? Now, in order to get to know about all those new enhancements and features that have been added to this service pack, all you need to do is just go to ADManagerPlus.com. Okay, you go to ADManagerPlus.com and then you go to download. You have the release notes right here. Now you can go to the release notes using this method, or you simply go to the support tab and then you have a recent announcements section within the application itself. So you need not go to a website. So you go to the support tab and you have all the latest fixes and enhancements and the new features included in every service pack or build. You can just go ahead and click the link. It would take you to our forums, to a community. You can just go ahead and have a look at the new features that are added to the application. And if there are any issue fixes that you've been waiting for, you can just go ahead and upgrade the service pack. And I've told you how to do that. You go to check for latest updates, download the service pack, follow the simple steps, and you upgrade the application. That's it. Now, 6380. So what's new? We were talking about mobile apps or mobile apps for managing your Active Directory. Alright, so if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, you can very well go to the respective links. So you have an app for Android as well as for the iPhone. Okay, so it takes you directly to the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store. You download the ADManager Plus app. Now the size of this app is going to be less than 3 megabytes. It's not going to consume a lot of space. You can download this app. Now the first thing after you download this app onto your mobile phone is that the app would prompt you to key in or configure the server settings. So you have something called server settings right here. This would be the first step in order to configure the mobile app. Now the server settings would want you to type in the name or the IP address of the ADManager Plus server and the port number in which the application is hosted and also the protocol that is used by the application. So you know that very well. All you need to do is just key in those simple details and then save the settings. Now those details will be the connecting factor between the application and your ADManager Plus server. So that will be a connecting factor between the mobile app and the ADManager Plus server. Now since this application is going to retrieve information from your Active Directory domain, you need to make sure that your mobile phone is connected to your domain network or to your office network. Alright, because we are going to manage domain objects, which means the application that you are going to use or the carrier or the device that you are going to use, be it an iPhone or an Android phone, should be connected to your office network. Alright, now once this is done, all you need to do is just log into the app and then you can perform basic management functions right from the app itself. So you can enable users, you can disable accounts, reset their password, and if you get a call from your users stating that their account is locked out, you can unlock those user accounts right from the mobile app itself. And then you can delete users and modify the group membership. You might get a call from users and the users might want to actually access a certain application or a specific resource for which they need to be a part of a group A. So if you need to add the user quickly to a security group, you can do so from the mobile app itself. And you can also revoke the access once the task is done, even when you're not near to your desktop. Okay, so those are the management options. Now what's new in this? Now we have added a reporting functionality to this mobile app. Now you can not only manage objects, but also you can generate reports from the mobile app. Alright, so we have introduced 5 reports to the mobile app. Now the first report is going to be the all users report. Now if you'd like to get the list of all users in your Active Directory domain, you just go to the all users report and then you generate the report. Alright, the next thing is the second report that we have introduced is going to be the logged out users report. Okay, so you generate the report if you find that there are 5 logged out users in your domain, and if you want to unlock 2 of them, you select those 2 users and you unlock right from your mobile app. And then we have the disabled users report. So in order to know who is disabled and not. Now it's going to be the same report that you have in the user interface, I mean in the web application right here. So if you go to AD reports, you have the all users report right here. This is the same report that you will now see in the mobile application. And then you have the disabled users report, and then you have logged out users report. So you generate the report, get the list of users, and then you manage them on the fly. All right. And the next report is inactive users. Now this report is going to give you the list of users who have not logged into your Active Directory infrastructure for the last 30 days or 60 days, or let's say for the last 1 year. So finding out inactive users and removing those accounts from Active Directory is very important from a security perspective. So this report will help you do that. Now you have this functionality in the mobile app itself. Right? So the mobile app is free to download. You can just go to the iTunes and you can just go to the Google Play Store if you have an Android phone, download the app and then connect it to your network, to your domain, and start managing objects on the fly. Okay, so this is one feature that I wanted to share with you so that you can download the app and start using it. The next thing is something related to user creation templates. Okay, so you have user creation templates and then you have user modification templates. So user creation templates. For some of you might be using this application for quite some time and you know what the user creation template does. But for those of you who are new to this application, I'm just going to give you a quick overview about the templates. Okay. Now the template is going to be the layout for your users in your Active Directory structure. Okay. Now you can create, let's say, one template per department, one template for the IT department, and another one for the sales department, and another one for pre-sales, and one for marketing, and one for the help desk. So creating a template is just going to be a one-time thing, and the template will have all the attributes that you want to be there for a user account in Active Directory. Okay, now you can define the naming format of user accounts using the template. For instance, if you want the email address of your user accounts to be something like first name dot last name at domain.com, you define such naming formats from the drop-down list. First name dot last name at domain.com. Or if you'd like to implement or create your own naming format, you have an option to create your custom format as well. So some organizations would like to go with first initial and the entire last name at domain.com. So you can just go ahead and create your own naming format using the option right here. All right, and also you can create all the attributes that you can think of when you try to provision a user account, be it Exchange, be it enabling remote mailbox, Link, Skype, and even Office 365. You can just go ahead and configure all the attributes. Creating a template is just going to be a one-time thing. And once you have built a template, you can use this template any number of times. Say, for instance, I create a template for the IT department. Now, tomorrow, the HR recruit a new employee for the IT department, and there arises a necessity for creating an AD account for the new joinee. Now, I, as an Active Directory administrator, all I need to do is just load the template and type the first name of the user account and the last name. That's it. And I hit create. Okay, now if I just do this, I will be able to create an AD account with all the properties that I want. That includes Exchange, remote mailbox, links, Skype, and even Office 365. And also the group membership, the OU in which the account is to be created, their home folders, the permissions, everything. Alright, so that's the benefit of using a template. And to make the job of creating a template much more easier, we have the copy user attributes. So if you are building a template for the IT department and you already have a user in your IT team and you'd like to create a template with the exact property of that IT user, you can very well use the copy user attributes. You go to the copy user attributes, select the targeted user, copy the attributes to the template, and then create a new template. So this is just an easier way of creating a template. And if you're building a template for the HR department and you already have a HR account with all the right properties, you can make use of the copy user attributes. All right. The next comes enable drag and drop. Now this feature would be very helpful whenever you have a requirement of delegating this template to someone. For instance, if you are an administrator and if you're going to delegate this template to the HR and you think that these fields, especially Exchange, remote mailbox, terminal, link, custom attributes are not required for the HR, all they need to do is just type in the first name and last name and maybe the telephone number of the user account with the department and stuff. So, and then they can initiate the process. So in order to customize the layout of this template and then delegate the template, you can use the enable drag and drop feature. You go to enable drag and drop, and then if you do not want the Exchange tab to be there in this layout, just go to the Exchange tab, hit delete tab. That's it. It's gone. And similarly, you can remove the remote mailbox tab because you think that these tabs are not required for the HR. You keep the layout as simple as possible. So this is not only for the layout, you can also delete an attribute from this layout. If you think that the web page attribute is not required in this template, you simply delete. Now any attribute or tab that you delete from this layout is not deleted forever. So all the deleted items will be placed in the field tray in the left hand side. And if you'd like to bring this back, just drag and drop it to the layout. That's it. And dealing with duplicates. If you are going to create 10 accounts, there are chances of duplicate entries. So this template has a smart way of dealing with duplicate entries. So this has an option to actually append numbers whenever a duplicate entry is found. That is one way of dealing with duplicates. The second way of dealing with duplicates is you can assign a different naming format for the duplicate entry. For instance, I have a user, John Smith at ADManagerPlus.com. So a week from now, another user with the same name is recruited, and when I try to create an AD account, this template is smart enough to sense that there is an account with the same name in the Active Directory domain. And now what this template does is this template would assign a different naming format for the duplicate entry. So the new user will be created with the naming attribute like jsmith at domain.com. So instead of John Smith, it's going to be J Smith. Or you can even define your own naming formats. Now all this is available in the template and a lot more. So I'm not going to spend much time on this template. We have a detailed workshop video that I can share with you if you are interested to know more about the templates. All right. So what's new in this template? We have creation rules. So we have introduced something called creation rules that's going to dynamically populate certain fields in Active Directory based on a trigger value. So let me tell you, or let me show you what I actually mean by trigger values. So I'm now creating a template, and then I go to creation rules and I create a new rule. Okay, let's assume that I'm building a template for the IT department. Okay, and if the user is going to be a part of the IT department, now the user should be a member of two security groups, and the user's description should be set to a certain value. The user's home folder should be mapped on a certain shared path. Now the user account should be created in a certain OU. So I can predefine all those conditions and then create a rule. So that's exactly what we are going to do now. That's exactly what the creation rule does. So say for instance, I'm going to add a condition here. I go to add conditions. Now, if the department, I'm searching for the department attribute. If the department is information and technology, so this is the condition, then set the member of attribute, which is the group membership, to the value that I define here. If you need to add two more groups to this, just hit the edit sign and then add those groups. Okay, so this is the first rule, and I add another rule to this. If the department is information and technology, I want the description attribute to be IT user. Now if the description, or if the department is information and technology, then I want the account to be created in a certain container. You have select container right here. So I can choose the container. So this is the user creation rule. So I would request you to just go ahead and create a template, make use of the creation rules as per your requirement, and then integrate that rule with the template. So we are trying to actually uh, make the job simpler. You just create a rule once, so that instead of you manually typing the values, the template actually does the job for you. So it's just going to be a one-time thing that you'll be doing, and the next time you have a requirement for creating user accounts, you load a template, type the first name and the last name, choose the department attribute, and then hit create user. That's it. So you can create a user account with all the properties that you want in less than a minute. So that's the powerfulness of this template, and that's creation rules for you. So the next feature that we are going to see is in the admin tab. So you have the admin tab right here, and in the admin tab we have introduced something called delete disable policy. So let me tell you what exactly this policy means. Right now, if you are going to delete a user account from your Active Directory infrastructure, let's say from your domain, so you delete the account, and then if the user has a mailbox, you delete the mailbox separately, and if the user has a home folder, you delete the home folder. Now instead of doing all these one by one or separately, you can simply define a delete or disable policy. Okay, so what you do is, if you want uh, the home folders of the user to be deleted as in when you delete the user account, you enable the checkbox. And if you want to move the home folders as in when you delete the users, you have an option to do that as well. So you can delete remote home folders while account deletion, or even move remote home folders. Now this is the same for roaming profiles, terminal service profiles as well. And if you have Exchange mailbox for that account, you can even delete the user mailbox permanently. Now, if you have any actions that, if you'd like to perform any other actions that you do not have in this list, you also have an option to invoke a custom script. Okay, so you delete all these items and then you invoke a custom script for any action that you want. So this is delete policy. Now, similar to the delete policy, we have disable policy right here. So you go to the disable policy. So while disabling a user account in Active Directory, if you want these actions to take place instantly, you select the checkboxes. That's it. So here, now that we are disabling the user account, you can disable the user's mailbox and even hide that address from the Exchange address list. Okay, now that you have disabled the user account, you might want to move all the disabled accounts to a separate container or separate organizational unit. So you can even do that by enabling the checkbox right here. Now that you've disabled the user accounts, some of those accounts that you have disabled can be administrative accounts. Now, from a security standpoint, it is always advisable that you remove the user from all the groups as and when you disable the account. Now, instead of you doing it manually, all you need to do is just select the checkbox, and this checkbox does the job for you. Now, when you disable a user account, this checkbox will also remove the user from all groups that the user is a member of. Let's say the user is a member of 50 different groups. So this checkbox removes those users from all those 50 groups except the primary group. And 90% of the time, the primary group is going to be just a basic security group, which is domain users. And you also have an option to run a custom script here. So that's the delete and the disable policy that we have introduced in the application. Okay. The next feature is about reports. So if you go to AD reports, we have close to 200 reports, and the report that I'm going to share with you in specific is going to be related to BitLockers. So if you go to computer reports right here, you have something called BitLocker enabled computers. Now, I've seen organizations where you have enabled BitLocker encryption for computers. And if you'd like to get the list of all those computers on which you have enabled BitLocker encryption, you simply generate the report, BitLocker enabled computers. Now, what if you have forgotten the recovery keys? Do not worry, we have introduced a separate report for that. So you have the BitLocker recovery keys report in order to let you know the BitLocker recovery keys of those computers, of the encrypted computers. So you have BitLocker enabled computers and BitLocker recovery keys right here. All right. So we are almost nearing the end of this workshop or of this webinar. So before that, I'd like to show you an interesting feature here that we have introduced in the delegation tab. So delegation. Now delegation is all about creating a custom action, and then you map that action to a user in your Active Directory infrastructure. Now that user can be a help desk technician, can be the HR, or even the IT admin. So you can create custom roles by going to the help desk roles link and then map those roles to users in the help desk technicians or the help desk technicians. So you create a role for reset password and account unlock, and then you map that role to a technician. The technician logs into ADManager Plus, and the technician performs the actions that you have delegated to them in the form of a role. All right. So we know that delegation is all about granting a role, and then the technicians or the administrators log in and they perform it. Now we have added something called the audit report, admin audit report, and the technicians report. Now you delegate roles to technicians, they log in and they perform the actions. So this audit report section will be able to let you know the exact changes done by those technicians. So you have granted two administrators the super admin rights within ADManager Plus. And if you'd like to know the actions done by those administrators, you go to audit reports, select those technicians here, track their activity for any time period that you want. We are talking about detailed information, detailed audit trails here. So that's audit report. Okay. Now, how is the audit report different from the admin audit report? Okay. Now, I log into ADManager Plus. I'm the administrator of ADManager Plus, and what I do is I remove certain roles from a specific technician and I grant the technician elevated rights, or let's say I grant them 5 different roles. And if you need to find out who elevated the permissions for that technician and what roles were assigned, what roles were revoked, you can make use of the admin audit report for all the changes that users do for the roles that we were talking about. So if any user or administrator modifies anything in the roles and its mappings, everything will be recorded in the admin audit report. So that's the difference between audit report and admin audit report. Audit report tracks the actions in Active Directory, done in Active Directory through ADManager Plus. Admin audit reports does the internal tracking. And next, you have the technician's report. Now this technician reports, let's say you have 2 technicians and you have no clue about the roles that you have assigned to those technicians, and you would also like to know about whether there are any OU restrictions. Have you restricted any OUs for those technicians? So all that will be presented in a detailed report here. So you go to the technician's report, you look for a technician here, and you will be able to know the domains that you have delegated to the technician, the roles that you have delegated to the technician, the OUs that you have delegated, and whether or not impersonation is enabled for that specific technician. So we have covered all this in our workshop series. So we have a separate workshop track going on. So as I said, if you'd like to know more about these features, you can very well let us know so that we'd be able to share the links of those workshops with you. All right? And this logo right here in the top left corner, which is ADManager Plus. Now, some of you might want to replace this logo with your organization's logo. Okay, so if you are going to delegate this to your help desk technicians, as soon as they log into the application, in order to give them a feel that they are working with an in-house application and not a third-party application, you can very well replace the logo right here from the user interface. Now, in order to replace this logo, you need to go to the admin tab, and then you go to server in the left-hand side. You have server here. You go to the link server, and if you scroll down, you have an option to choose a file. So the supported file formats are given here and the dimensions are right here. So you can just upload a pic with the format that is mentioned and then hit Save Changes. So that's it. So a quick recap on today's webinar. So this webinar was all about the new features that we had introduced. We have introduced in ADManager Plus, and the first feature that we discussed or we saw about was related to the mobile apps. So you go to the Home tab right here, and in the bottom right corner you have the links to download the mobile apps. And then we saw something about the user creation templates. So we saw about the creation rules within the user creation templates. And then we saw something about the disable and delete policy. So how can you configure the disable and delete policy and the things that you can do within this. And reports, we were discussing about BitLocker reports right here, BitLocker enabled computers, and BitLocker recovery keys, and then delegation. So how do you audit changes that you have, that your technicians have done in the applications? So that's about delegation, and how do you change the ADManager Plus logo. So that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you very much for joining, for taking some time amidst your busy schedule and joining this webinar. So as and when we release new features, we will make sure to conduct such webinars, short webinars, so that you gain more insight into ADManager Plus, so that you can get the most out of the application. All right. So if you have any questions, or if you'd like to add more features to the application, please do let us know. We'd be more than happy to do that for you. Thank you very much. All of you have a nice evening. Bye-bye.